Connection established. Sending interactive video.
Hello, everybody. It's just kind of been one of those Thursdays, hasn't it? I'm John Nelson, the plugin CEO of JKL Works Plugin Business, and actually a couple of really cool projects that I've got to go create some videos for. Think of directories with very, very specific things in mind, and some really cool things you're going to like. We'll promote them in a separate episode, maybe even give them a little bit of their own airtime. Until then, I'm trying just to push all the right buttons today because, like I said, it's just kind of been one of those days. The Facebook group, I believe, is going to have to wait. Yeah, we'll get that to you guys just as soon as we can. Learn new things about Facebook. There is a professional mode, just like in Instagram, and it has some new bells and whistles with it. So it's a little bit different. So we'll get it sorted out here just as soon as we can. But right now, I want to talk about something different. We've kind of rebranded this a little bit, or at least a slight pivot, just looking to find, and it's actually based off of a really cool discussion I had with somebody. I believe it was this week or last week. They're talking about, things that we talk about all the time. And sometimes it's good to have a reminder of these things. It is, where do you stand out? What do you do that's different from everybody else? And so, yes, we have some amazing tools. We have some for small businesses, and we're looking to do that. We're also looking to do the same for agencies. But something was kind of missing. And so, one, we want to speak a little more to small business because that is who we're talking to. And for the most part, markets and marketing agencies as well. Secondly, we want to get people that are ready to scale. They're ready to go up. The election insanity is now hopefully behind us. No matter where you fall, it was insane. So let's just agree on that and go on. So now it just seems like business was holding its collective breath a bit. And now hopefully they can exhale and they can take stock of where they are, and we can all begin to do some very, very constructive things to move forward. And so I am quite excited about that. And so we really want to talk to businesses that are looking to scale. And there is no better way to do that than the power of referrals. So I hope this is something that really gets you off on the right foot here. Even though the end of the year is near for some people, I know we try not to date these things, but the end of the year comes around for a lot of folks every year. So there is a chance and an opportunity, if you've been doing what you're supposed to do all year, to actually make some hay while others might be resting a bit. Yes, there are holiday parties. Yes, there's things going on. And we'll address some of that on another front. But they are, there's plenty of opportunity to do some good and to build your brand and to build the things that make you different. And yes, to scale and to grow and to do all kinds of cool things like that. So let us spend some time over these next several weeks helping you with that. It just, a little bit of the thing has changed, but not the theme, not the general idea. I think all of this will resonate with you as well. And then if you're looking for more options, then let's consider giving us a try. At least it'll be worth an hour of your time to find out some significantly cool things about your business, hopefully, and you can go on from there with a roadmap. But we would sure love to come alongside and help you with that. So let's kind of get rolling with this a little bit. Oop, there we go. Now we have some other things going on here. So this is like I said, it's kind of how my day's gone. But that doesn't deter from the fact that I believe it or not, it's kind of hard to tell right now, but I do have over 20 years of small business ownership experience as a managing partner this has come in handy so many times, because then I get to talk to people, and I get to learn from them how they're taking different approaches even now toward doing this. And these are businesses of 5 to 200, and they were not, me alone, thankfully, because they'd be a little crazy. But they were they especially when you start talking about larger sizes. But I had lots of good help, lots of good opportunities to learn, and I was the minority partner in it all. So I really got to learn and to grow and to do things. And so now you are the ones who benefit from that. So I get to bring 40 business and marketing optimization strategies to your business. Which ones we use is completely dependent upon your situation. If I just get 12 more, I'd have, a full deck of cards, and I could do like they did years ago, where they had all the deck of cards of people to find and identify. But I'm not there yet. We'd have to do that with business strategies, with something a little cooler and lower key. So, but nonetheless, it is 40 business strategies we bring. Also, and we work with you side by side. We do work with you, not not for you necessarily, because then everybody's invested in their time and effort, and we get to. That's all powered by something I'm a bit fanatical about, and it's a good thing too: the business process. If you haven't really taken the time in your small business to lay out the process by which everything happens, and I know you look at that and it looks daunting and say, that's going to take for freaking ever. Well, it could, but we hope to move that along, because then we can break it up into bite-sized pieces. And then what happens is, when everybody knows what's expected, they then get to turn their focus on other things, on growing your business, on making it happen, on avoiding craziness when it comes along, because it's usually scheduled right away. And so then you get to work through that with confidence. Everybody does. And it makes a world of difference. Plus, you're bringing in customers. You're supporting those customers very well, loving on them, creating a family with them. Not literally, but figuratively. You get the idea. And serving them well. And then they stay around for a long time, and they bring their friends, which is what referrals are truly all about, right? So here's those 40 strategies. Some of them are business, some of them are marketing. Which ones we pull out and use is different for every single situation. Even the initial success blueprint that we do, that we'll talk about in a few minutes, is unique to every business depending on what's going on. But this is all the stuff we get to choose from. So we have handpicked some that are fantastic to help a business scale, and so that is what that's all about here. So last time, you may recall, we talked about alliances and joint ventures, and how that's the bedrock of any business, believe it or not. Yes, you have to have a product or service. Yes, you have to be able to sell it. But these are the people that help you grow and scale that. These are the opportunities that come along and say, and take what you're doing and either add to it or incentivize it. And so that they can uniquely position you to grow not only customers, but a network of suppliers, of people that can help you, of people that can enhance what your business is already doing. That is how you scale, is getting connected to these folks. But another way is referrals. And this is a really cool way to know that you've sort of, arrived, at least in the sales world. That's what I'm told by people who are outstanding sales folks, is they try to get to referrals as quickly as they can. And the more that's encouraged, and the more that's incentivized, the better off things are. So let's take a couple minutes and talk about referrals, shall we? So why would you choose referrals? Well, the first example, is unprecedented. People are more than 75 to 92% more likely to buy. That's not good English, but they're 75 to 92% more likely to buy because somebody referred them, versus not at all. The next best approach down is like 25%. Even if it's somebody sees what you're doing out there and says, you know what, I want a piece of that, or they get a cold call from you, or they see you online, or they see you in person, and say, I want a piece of that, they still may or may not be as likely to buy as if their friend or colleague or someone they know and trust, we'll get to that in a second, comes over and says, you need to do business with these people. You need to get what they have. This is unbelievable. It's worked for me. And I know they will take outstanding care of you. Who wouldn't buy with that kind of endorsement, right? Because I mean, how often have you seen this on social media? People looking for answers. Do you know a good AC person? Do you know a good lawyer? Do you know a good whatever? And there's something else to be said for what happens sometimes when people get those recommendations. They kind of, I don't know, it doesn't quite go as well as it's intended. Not the people giving the recommendations, but the person asking for them, is they want to dispute stuff with you. Okay, well, then why did you ask in the first place? But thankfully, more often than not, people that do ask really do want to know. They really do want a resource. They really do want a reference, and they want to be brought to those people to know specifically who to talk to get done what they need to get done. Okay. So the second thing is here. This is kind of what I was talking about a little bit before. This reduces cold calling. It reduces cold outreach of any kind, because this is how you arrive. Like I said, salespeople I've talked to said they try to get to this as quickly as possible, because then they try to get as much of their business coming from referrals as they can. They try to they try to make that happen, because then that's frankly, it's less work for them to do, because they did all the work up front. And so then all they have to do, and this is important though, is make sure that the customers are being taken care of. Make sure that everything is happening as it should. And good things will come out of that. But that's what they're trying to get to. That's what they want to happen, because and yes, it makes a salesperson's life so much easier to get to that point. Yes, they're 75 to 92% more likely. But why is that? Well, that leads us to our third point over here. And that's because it shows that somebody knows you, likes you, and trusts you. If somebody knows you, likes you, and trusts you enough to refer you, then to people that they know, like, and trust, then that should speak volumes, and that should be rewarded, and that should be incentivized. And so, that should make a difference. It's not just somebody thinks highly enough of you, but how are you going to, as a business, as a small business, going to respond to that? How are you going to say, oh my gosh, I'm so humbled that you would even do this? I mean, that's the way you should do it. Is you should be humble and grateful. I mean, not cheesy, but humble and grateful. People that appreciate the power of referrals know exactly where that comes from and why. And so then they more than make it worth the while of both parties, the one being referred and the one who refers. Entire businesses are built on that. My wife and I are embarking on a health coaching venture. Not only does a business, but to go along with the journey that we're on. I don't know if some of you noticed, but go back and look at some of the older videos that I put out there. Looking a little different now, and very happy to be so. And so we'll see some more. We'll put some more stuff out about that here in the very near future. But this is kind of for the business side. This is for business and marketing and small business. But that health coaching runs entirely. I mean, it's great if somebody sees what you're doing and testimonials and all, but it really does run off of referrals. It really does run well off of somebody liking the experience enough, or seeing enough, and trusting that person, even if they haven't embarked on the journey with us. If they see something that I'm putting out there, my wife's putting out there, or some of these other folks are putting out there that are involved with it, that says, you know what, I know that person, I know their integrity, I know what they would do, and I know their journey is legit, So when it comes time for them to say to try to get on board with that, then they're ready for their own health journey in that case, or ready to scale their small business, or ready to buy something or other. Then referrals are the way to go, because they're ready for a new AC system or plumbing or work or whatever they need done to their house or their business or their whatever. You get the idea. Knowing, liking, and trusting somebody is like Google Biblical, okay, and Facebook. They try to. This is what they build on. This is what they thrive on. So if you want to grow and expand, ensure that you are known, liked, and trusted, and therefore you are referred. You are referred to other people that they're giving you, because they know, like, and trust you. They're giving you to people who trust them. And their reputation's on the line. So they don't do that lightly. You shouldn't take that lightly. Okay. Next thing is just some tidbits here, some things we've come along with for the on the experience here. So one of them is unpaid referrals work, but paid referrals work so much better. If these people, if their business meant something to you, find a way to pay them. It's not as expensive as you think. If you're a small business, don't be cheap with this. Really, don't be cheap with this. Whatever else you do, find some way to incentivize somebody to. We pay for referrals at JKO Works. The health coaching program that we're with pays for referrals. They do a little differently, but they still pay for them. There are businesses that I know that have done amazing things paying for referrals. Sometimes it's not practical, so to straight pay somebody. That's what a whole affiliate program is based off of, right? So, but sometimes that's not practical. So there's different ways of doing it. But unpaid, yeah, it works. It works okay. It can work okay, but paid referrals work so much better. Okay. You can this I was just looking at a couple of things here, because we're running late and trying to work it all out, and I am my own producer. So the second thing is that this can be like, you can make it like commission, like sales commission, right? You can make it like hiring, having your own sales staff. You're incentivizing a sales staff without having to hire one. Maybe you do have one salesperson, and you're growing, you're doing good, and they're working hard, and they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Well, at some point, you would hope that there's only so many of them. So you have a choice. You can either hire more salespeople and everything that comes with that, or you can incentivize your best salespeople, that would be your customers, to go out and preach for you and evangelize for you. Let's get our religious terms correct. They go out and evangelize for you. That's a whole new concept of person, of job role now, as a product evangelist or service evangelist or company evangelist. That's not a bad thing. They're out there singing your praises. They're out there sharing everything with what's there, and yes, they are incentivized to do so, and that's okay. It really is. So then, if that's otherwise, I mean, we all have to live. So why not incentivize them, give them the tools they need, and turn with the proper guidance and guidelines, so they represent you correctly, and then turn them loose and let them and be there to support them. Make a whole business out of supporting them. Plenty of businesses we know do. And they have chosen that route, and so then they support. Think about your average good affiliate program, right? So they're out there supporting the messaging that's going on, ensuring that it's accurate, but at the same time, they're paying these folks well. They're making it happen, and so it's just treat it like sales commission. People post jobs out there all the time for commission only sales or contract only, where it's nothing but commission. There is no base. You eat what you kill. Or however that goes. I just saw that listed the other day. You eat what you kill. So, I mean, you get the benefit of it if you're the one that brings it in, right? So So otherwise, you starve. So just treat it like a a contract salesperson that you are enabling and you are incentivizing. Third thing is, like we talked about earlier, sometimes if you don't have the means to pay somebody, the going rate on the commission, by the way, on your average salesperson is roughly 20%. Okay, 20% of the value of what they sell should be a good sales commission. Use that as a starting point. Do what you can do. Some pay more, some pay less. Many of you know, for if you're in digital marketing, Go High Level pays like 40%. I mean, that's an industry high, and they do it on purpose, because they really wanted to grow and scale on an unbelievable rate, and sure enough, they have. But others are right there with them, 30 and 40% up there. But some only do 5 or 10%. Maybe it just depends on what's going on, with that particular company. So if you're not ready for something at that level, there are other ways to incentivize people. And this is kind of what I was circling around to get at here. So consider gift cards. There are situations where if somebody's not really a client, or they haven't been a client for a while, or they're not, buying some, there are businesses that offer gift cards. And, maybe it's Amazon, or maybe it's a store, or maybe it's a restaurant, or maybe it's movies, or maybe it's something hopefully they can use, maybe even something a bit themed. But you can get somebody a gift card, and as a thanks for doing what they do. If it's a one-time purchase, gift cards are outstanding for doing this. And so if you make the gift card worth their while, that way everybody is taken care of. But if you have products that pay residual, that have residual service costs to them, like a service, and it's an ongoing thing, then consider incentivizing those people on an ongoing basis, okay, if you can. If you just can't afford something is more expensive, that's fine. Another thing you can do is trade for, these are getting down the rung a little bit. Cash or the equivalent of cash, like a gift card, is always the best. But if you can't do that for whatever reason, then you can consider things like discounts off of services. That's kind of a slippery slope, but it can be. In the radio industry for years, particularly in smaller town radio, I worked for radio stations, way back when. And a very common thing to trade out was their remote van. The vans you see that have all the station logos and all the stuff, and they would go to different events. Well, very often those are traded out to car dealerships in exchange for advertising of some form or another, or they get a reduced rate or something. Not always the case, but very often it is the case, and has been the case for a long time. And so then both parties get something they want out of it. The car dealership perhaps gets the exposure or the extra advertising time, and the radio station gets a remote van that promotes them wherever they go, that they can put their equipment in. Then when they get there, they can break out the speakers and the big antenna, and they can do live remote broadcasts in a reasonable manner, and also come packed with stuff that they can hand out to everybody, right? So there's all of that, and so they can hand out all kinds of different stuff, and it makes it work. Another thing you can do is trade services, which is kind of along the same lines. You can trade services for something. Again, have to be careful with all of that. That's legendary also in broadcasting circles, that sometimes that gets a little bit taken advantage of. But as long as you can keep it on track, and you really can't do this any other way, trading for services is not a bad thing. Maybe you trade somebody a website design. You see this all the time. You build somebody a website, if that's you do something that you're skilled, that's pretty low key, for somebody in exchange for services of theirs. Happens all the time. Nothing wrong with it. Slippery slope, yes, but nothing really wrong with it as long as you keep it in perspective. Sometimes that's the situation that just works the best for people. But all of those are referral based. All of those are ways to incentivize referral activity, and they are all ways to scale and grow your business. So don't be afraid if you have to get a little bit creative, but don't let that deter you, make you shy away from doing something like this, because referrals are what you want to get to. Paid referrals are really what you want to get to, because it's just incentivizing a contract sales staff without any baggage. Okay, sorry, salespeople, but it's the truth. And the salespeople, even, it makes their job easier. The smart ones, they try to get to refer where a lot of their business comes from, referrals, because it just makes everything easier and allows them to scale up, because they know there's a set amount of business coming to them all the time, because there are some people who know, like, and trust them. A smart salesperson, that's what they get to. So I'm not disparaging that at all. It is a smart tactic that really has a lot of good work to it. It's a foundational tactic even. So as we're talking about that, we're going to try to spend some time jumping into these different aspects, but they all kind of revolve around five aspects of scaling that make it important, where you can scale to what we call real business life change. Scale up, because that is where it gets really fun. It's where it gets on a bit of autopilot and things start to become easier and you have arrived. These could be foundational things. Like, notice one of the foundational things up here: trust, building trust. Hey, this is a good way to do that. And having the strategies to build all this up. That's what foundations are all about. Then that brings you more leads, more conversions, going from a lead to somebody who's actually buying. More transactions over here. This, as you work your way around the horn here, this is a sign of business scale and maturity. So more transactions means they're buying more. You're keeping your customers longer. They're buying more. They're staying with you, which ultimately leads over here to more profits. This is what real business life change is all about. And this is what we try to get you to. This is what we want to get your small business to. If you're got 10 employees or a little bit more, let's talk about what this looks like. You're ready to grow. If you have a salesperson in there, if you have a marketing person, if you're employing people specifically with the idea of wanting to grow, these are all the things that you're going to want to tackle and to deal with. And we are happy to show you what that looks like. If you're a marketing agency also looking to scale, you're looking to grow up, you found that sauce that helps you stand out a little bit more than all the rest, then let's talk about you, because we have something to help with that. Imagine taking, you had the 40 business strategies earlier and marketing strategies. How about we take the marketing ones out, because you've got those handled, right? But the business ones, you may not be doing so well. Look at some of the things on here, and if you don't recognize your business is doing some of this, maybe we should come alongside and work through you to work on your clients. We're not here to take your clients. We're here to work through you. We're here to work through you to get to your clients, because then we can all show them amazing success together, and they will bring their friends and they will refer people. And that just means it makes you look like a rock star, because it's just that much more business for you, because you have a secret weapon behind you that not everybody's talking about. Things like branding and market dominating positions and all that. You're happy building websites and SEO and running ads, and you're very, very good at it. Let us come along and fill in the backstop of that. Work on the back office for your customers and help show them so much money. Just reveal it to them, the stuff they already knew that they didn't know they had, and all of a sudden all that is showing up, and it's doing very, very well for them, and they didn't know how well that was going. So now they do. So here's basically how our process works. So if any of this is intriguing at all, if you want to explore anything about how this works, then let's do this. Let's book a business success strategy session. Let's try to get you scaled. Let's try to get you ready. If you're ready to do that scaling, let's show you how to take it so much further. Okay. So it takes about 22 minutes, and we'll show you some fun things. We're going to dream a little bit. We're going to ask you about your goals and your dreams, and then we're going to break out our exclusive profit acceleration simulator. It's just kind of a fun little tool that says, okay, if we increase things just a little bit, if we make some small, teeny tiny changes to a few of these strategies, watch what happens. Watch how much profit all of a sudden you end up uncovering that you didn't know you had. And then we give you and then we go to, if you like that, the first thing we do is take an hour of your time, 50 minutes of your time, and do what's called a success blueprint, or a digital success blueprint if your business is entirely online. That's cool. We got you covered. The strategies are a little different, but that's okay. It's all right here. So then we ask you some questions, we get the answers, and we really start working through it all. And so it is absolutely amazing then what will happen, because all of that gets uncovered for you. You see where to go. You see where the roadmap is. You're given a copy of the road. You're given the roadmap. You're given your report. You can do with it whatever you want. Even if you don't do business with us, you have that there. You have the exact strategies to follow, and all you have to do is start executing them. However, of course, if you would like some help executing those strategies, then that's where we come in. We have a couple of different versions of how we do that. We come alongside with you, yes, as a coach, but we do work and you do work. We are working together on this. We are working with you, not doing it all for you, and not expecting you to not throwing a bunch of training at you and expecting you to do it all by yourself without any idea of where to go. Let's work on this together, side by side, every week, spending time on your business. And by the way, if you do need a little background training, we got you covered there. That's what this Success Academy down here is all about. So the Success Academy is, it's virtual MBA level stuff. It's a year's worth of training. Each session is very deep, but it's all pre-recorded. You can watch it as many times as you want. Use it for background. Use it to fill in the blank. Use it so you don't feel like you're asking stupid questions you should already know the answers to. Yeah, that's not the case, but sometimes we feel like that, don't we? So that way you don't have to feel that way. You can come armed and informed and ready to get it done. And then if you do have questions, we'll very patiently send you there, but we'll also answer those questions for you. This holds especially true if we do the ProfitWorks Jumpstart. That's about 15 minutes of your time, unlimited on 15-minute meetings, but you get homework. Versus regular ProfitWorks, we're working a week at a time for an hour a week on your business together. We're doing this. And yes, there is significantly more homework, but again, we're doing this with you. We have things to do. You have things to do, all for the good of your business. And if you're willing to invest and you're ready to invest that time, if you're ready to truly scale, this is the place you need to be at, because then you're invested in it and you're making it happen. Just a couple of quick notes on scaling, by the way. Yeah, successful people who scale their businesses, successful entrepreneurs spend at least 2 hours a week on their business. This is not making sales calls. This is not paying bills or doing accounts receivable or making sure your customers are paying their bills. This is actually working on strategies that make your business better. We would be as pleased as we could be to take up one of those hours a week of your time. We will fill it so full of good things, of that you have the confidence, even if you don't think you do, to move forward and to do what you need to do. So let us take up one of those hours, but you should be spending at least 2 hours a week on your business. We could even make it where you spend that 2 hours a week and then we add one more. So that would be 3 hours. The stunning things you could do if you invested that much time in your business. And during those times, stop worrying about all the little minutia things that are happening and focus just on growing your business, on making it run as smoothly as possible. McDonald's, love it or hate them, they have a whole system. If you've read the E-Myth Revisited, they're famous about it. They talk about it he talks about it a lot. Ray Crocker is one of his heroes, and with good reason. They have set up repeatable systems over and over again that just work, okay? Over and over. That's what they're designed to do. McDonald's is designed to meet you at a season of your life, but it's a good season, and what it teaches you is invaluable, right? So another thing is, this is an accountability relationship. Unlike a lot of things, products or services you buy from people, things you do, the way this works this is an accountable relationship. The way our health coaching works is that is a reasonably accountable relationship. We have coaches we're accountable to. Our customers and clients have us that they're accountable to us, not in a bad way. It's a very, very supportive way. And the same with the business side. We're all we're supportive of each other. We're working through this because that's the only way this works. I've been going to, and Friday mornings as best I can these days because I've been busy, a men's group. It's a bunch of Christian men in my case. They get together. I've been at that for 15 plus years, 16 years. Why? Because that's accountability. That I can tell them things that I wouldn't tell anybody else. My wife knows that if she has specific requests for prayer or something else that need to be confidential, she will ask me to tell them, and it will not be shared with anybody. That's part of what an accountability group is all about. And it's not just a dumping ground. It's a great place to grow and find solace and comfort, but at the same time, you can provide that to other people as well. And it just works. And so this is part of the true magic of coaching is an accountability relationship. So everybody's invested in your business's success that's involved if you let them. So that's how this truly works, and it works well. One final thought is any time that you invest in your business, any money that you invest in your business, it's not an expense. If you're learning and growing from it, if you're evolving, if that's truly making a difference and it's not just paying a bill, that is an investment. That's the very definition of an investment. Entrepreneurs will tell you this. This is the very definition of what that investment is. So don't take that lightly and make the most of it. It'll be a good problem for me and has been when we get those clients that they show up to our meetings and they are just on fire. What about this? What if we did this? Okay, I did. Here's all the things you asked me to do. Yeah, I did them in like an hour. Okay, what else you got for me? What's going on? So see, then you're making me work and you're making me scramble. But trust me, I love it. Any coach will tell you that if you get somebody coming back like that, that just adds fuel to their fire, to the coach's fire, because then it's making us up our game for your success, for your benefit. That's what this should be all about. And if it's not, you need a different coach because they should have your best interest at heart, even if sometimes it's not what you want to hear. Got a little bit of that today, but it's something I needed to hear. And so that's the part of how a coaching and mentor relationship should work. It's not always going to be rosy. They're not yes people all the time. They are extremely supportive when you do well, or when they think you're going to do well, or when they believe in you. Ask a teacher who just gets a little bit of gratitude and feedback. It absolutely sets them on fire in the best ways possible. And they remember those students that did that. And the students, frankly, remember them. And so and those are the teachers that you remember decades down the road. When you've forgotten a whole lot of other stuff, you remember that everybody has that one teacher, don't they? So this is always an investment, and it should be treated as such. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for letting me come on a little bit late. Thank you for spending time watching this. If you are ready, if your business is ready to scale, if you're ready to do some amazing things, you saw the 40 strategies we had there. We get to pull those out and apply them to your business. There are certain ones that work better than others, and they may or may not be something you've thought about, but they all work for a reason. They all are there, and they're all valuable. And so if you're not afraid to kind of step out a little bit, you can do some very, very cool things with that. So let me actually bring that back for a second, because there's a very important website there, strategy.jklworks.com. That's strategy.jklworks.com. And that then gives you the opportunity to start the journey. The first part of that, there's no obligation, there's no cost until after the blueprint. Really. So let's see where your business is at. Let's see how we can help you thrive. Let's see how we can get things going for you in a way that truly, truly matters. Okay. So that's all I have for the moment. Thanks so much for watching. Strategy.jklworks.com. If you're a marketing agency and you want that affiliate split we were talking about, we talked a lot about it last week, and then as well, we'll be talking about it some more, and certainly love to tell you more about what that looks like. Turnaround.jklworks.com is that one. Turnaround. It's a 1090 agency turnaround. Your 10 worst performing clients for 90 days. And then we turn them around and turn them into rock stars, and you get the credit and you get the glory. Your agency does, and it just grows from there. So if that's something that's on your mind that you want to do, let's make it happen for you. Turnaround.jklworks.com. Anyway, I appreciate your time. Hope you got some value out of this. If you have any questions, comment where you're watching this, and we will get to them as soon as possible. We're on multiple channels, so that's kind of a pain. And I am my own producer to respond live, but we'll certainly follow up and make that happen. And otherwise, come to one of those websites. Let's book a time. Let's get to know each other, and let's get started with this. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great one. And let me see if I can shut this off. Otherwise, I got to start singing. And I can do that, but it's kind of rough. You know what I mean? Okay. Have a good one.